Hi everybody. Okay, hi everybody. I'm on this new app called Streamlabs. I'm still figuring out, got a little bit of issues with it. I got the StreamYard figured out pretty much. This saying connected to chat, but it's still connecting, so I guess y'all can hear me. I don't know. That's the finished video, I guess. But anyway, I wanted to do a review on this Netflix movie called Cuties. I was watching Tasha K live, and Tasha K started talking about you need to see the real movie. Everybody just this and that about the movie. Everybody upset about the movie, trying to cancel Netflix. Got a petition going to get it not being shown. So I'm like, okay, so that piqued my interest. What in the world is the big deal about this movie? So Tasha explained about the little girls in it twerking, and now I was just watching ABL. He's talking, he's giving his opinion on it, and for the most part, he don't think it should be on the show. It should be this. Basically, agree with a lot of, I guess, the backlash that Netflix is getting. So I said, let me watch this movie. So after I finished watching Tasha K live, I immediately went to Netflix, to pull it up, and it's not just really there. Like if I go to Netflix, it'll be in the new releases, and it's nowhere in the new releases, nowhere on there. Like I would normally go on there. But like I would normally go on there and look up and just see what movie I want to watch. If it's something interesting, I would watch it. Most of the time, ain't nothing I want to watch because I find just sitting and watching movies utter distraction from living your best life. Because you're just sitting around just watching a tube instead of living your best life. But anyway, I watched the movie last night. I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep all night. I don't think I even lied down and even attempt to go to sleep like 5, 6 o'clock. So it's like 2 o'clock in the morning after I finished watching Tasha live. So I went straight into watching Cuties. Well, I watched the movie. I was like, I see the little black girl, and then I see the other little black girl with the and it had like every race in it. It's like it had a little African American girl. Then they had her, this little African girl. Then they had looked like a West Indian girl, white girl. Then they had like your all-American blonde-headed white girl, got a little bit of weight on her. Then they had the other white girl, I don't know what she is, but she was big and all this, she had the dark hair. So just like 3 different sets of white girls. It started off being 4 of them, and then the little African girl, I don't know if she's Nigerian or whatever she is, but then she came together and they made it I think 5 of them. But anyway, the movie was about the I guess in Africa they get to have more than one wife, and the mother of the little girl, she had a little baby, and she had a little boy, and she found out that her husband is going to have a second wife. Now she's highly upset. Now the little girl, if I can remember her name, can't remember her name, but she was doing something in her mother's room, I guess making the bed all nice for her mom. And then when her mama come in the room, she didn't know whether she couldn't get out, so she hid under the bed. And as she was hiding under the bed, the discussion was that her husband was taking another wife. And she was on the phone talking. And I guess when she was talking to the person, I guess what I gathered from it, because they weren't speaking full English, so I couldn't catch everything, but I caught enough. Apparently the person was basically telling her to get over it, he got another wife. Now, after she hangs up on the lady or whatever she does, and she's sitting there crying, sitting in the bed crying, and a little girl is hid under the bed listening to her mother cry about the fact that her husband take a second wife. Now, at this moment in the movie, it's where the little girl's psyche was traumatized by the pain of her mother, by her mother's pain. Her mother has no way of knowing that her daughter is under the bed and hearing this, or she probably would have hid the tears and her pain and sorrow from her. But she really couldn't hide it because she walked around with a sad face all the time. And the little girl knows, the girl's 11, she knows what the sad face is because she heard her mother was upset. Then they had, and the thing that get me was the second room they had for the second wife was like a room out of a room out of Buckingham Palace, where that room was being remodeled for the second wife. And the first wife just has like just a modest bed, or just a modest room, modest bed, nothing fancy. And so that was her room. And the kids thought the big room would be there, so she told them that room was not there, and she shut the door. And they don't even know what the room is or who will be in it, but apparently that was the room for the second wife. Well, I don't understand how the second wife get to be of royalty. Have royalty in a room while she gets to sleep in a regular room like a child. But anyway, that's that setting. Now, this little girl, she goes around and she sees this little Asian girl. She's always in the laundry room washing and drying clothes. That's where she saw her, and then she's dancing, doing her little dance movement. She saw her doing the dance movement, and then while she was watching her, she turned around and saw that the girl was watching her. She'd give her that mean face or whatever. And so she leaves. So right then and there, that dancing caught her attention. I remember her name, at the moment I can't remember her name. Let's see. Oh, hi Donna. Say Donna just being real. Hi Barbara and Chet. Oh, hey Donna. I had to look down and I saw your name. So anyway, so at this moment in time, she caught that dancing, caught her attention. So ever since that time, she's been practicing trying to figure out the moves so she can dance like this one little Asian girl. Then while I guess she was walking and she saw the girls out there practicing dancing, and it just caught her attention. Now while she peeping over this thing watching them dance, they happen to notice her watching them. And she's so silly. She just climbing up there, just watching this girl like she mesmerized, and they throw a rock and hit her in the head. So she ended up grabbing her little baby brother, two little brothers, and go back. But anyway, she still practices. So it was her intent at this time to get in with this little girl group. The thing about it is, the other little the thing I didn't like about the other girls is how it's basically the characters that the girl played. Like the little black girl, with, the little African American girl. She black. She got the braid. I guess what they call those box braids in her hair. She's mouthy. She's fast. She's fresh. She just all of this whatever. Which they do that to try to, I guess, to represent what the African American girls are. Well, not all African American girls act like that, which a lot of them do. But so that was the image that they gave her. Now the image they gave the I guess the girl or whatever part of Africa in, probably British or I don't know what tribe she's from, but she's from Africa or whatever. But she just little innocent girl, don't know anything, and she see this girl and she get caught up. Now, all the little girls, they're like little fresh girls, they dancing, shaking their little body, doing all those things. But once they accepted her into the group, she goes and she steals this. I don't know if the guy's her brother, her mama brother, or what, but she steals his phone. And now she's on there watching these on her phone, on his phone that she stole, and watching these grown women. I guess the only way to describe it is Meg the Stallion, because these girls with these big old booties out, naked, butt naked, with all this stuff shaking and twerking and all of that. That's what she was watching, and I guess that was to represent the African American girls, as far as the big booty shape, which basically is what Meg the Stallion do with her butt. So I think, to me, that's what I got from that video she was watching, to learn these moves, and then she goes and teaches the girls how to shake and pop and and just dance like these girls on the phone that she see on the phone. So she's a little teacher out there teaching them all. But I was trying to understand this little girl's psyche, but I could never really get a handle on what her thing was, because she would progress all the way to the point of craziness. I guess her mama, brother, whatever, realized she had the phone, and he took the phone from her there, or whatever phone. Well, she takes the phone, goes into the bathroom, locks the door, take a picture of her punani, put it on his phone, open the door and give him his phone back. I'm like, what is wrong with this little girl? I understand she was traumatized by her mother crying because her father took a second wife, and the father tried to talk to her. The mother gave her the phone, talked to her. The girl threw the phone out the window and wouldn't even talk to her daddy. And her mom just looked at her, threw the phone out the window. So I can understand she being upset by that. And it's all because she heard the mother crying. But it probably would have been a little bit, she probably wouldn't be so traumatized had someone just talked to her about the situation rather than she hearing it the way she heard it. But the little girl, she just do the most, until she got to the place where the mama wanted to kill her because she's out there half naked doing all kind of crazy. And so the auntie had to get the mama off of the girl because she was asking her, I don't know who you are. Who are you? She's out there just doing all these things. She's stabbing. That girl is doing the most. And she was obsessed with dancing. Let's see. Hey Donna. Okay. So she's just doing the most. And she just gotta go down. What I don't get is she put her thing on the thing that she goes to class, and when the boys started picking at her for what she did, she is telling him shut up. And he said, well, she don't want to act like that. The girl takes a pencil and stabs the boy in the hand. I like, with a pencil. And her newfound friends are mad at her because she like, Why would you do that? Now everybody wants us to take pictures and do the same thing you did. And talk about all they want to do is dance. They ain't trying to do those grown people things that they were doing. So they didn't want her in the group no more. So she started crying. She's sorry. She this, she that. And it's like she don't really. It's like this girl has no concept of what she did. And I'm looking at this little girl like, what is wrong with you? Literally as if I was looking like a real child, like, what is wrong with you? You don't see none of these girls doing these things, but you look on the thing and you would teach these girls this thing and actually expect them to do it. So they wouldn't be her friend no more, so they told she couldn't dance with them no more. But the little Asian girl, West Indies girl that was her friend, like she said, the other girls don't want to be her friend no more, but she'll be her friend, but she can't be her friend around them. Because they let the girl say, she just got them all out there. And they said they didn't want to be on there, exposed on the internet like that. They just fresh little girls just want to be out there dancing, shaking their little booty, getting these little dance things. And they got in it. And mostly because of the little African girl. I can't remember her name to save my life. But she the reason they won for sure, because she teached them the little dance moves. And these people looking at these little girls like, the way they're looking at these girls like they can't believe their eyes. But it's mostly that one girl. My thing is, it got to the point where when the girl did what she do, when the aunt had to pull the mother off the little girl, they got this young bottles of water, look like they throwing holy water on her. I'm like, they sitting there throwing water on the girl. I'm sitting there looking. I said, what are you doing, throwing holy water on the girl? So the girl started shaking her little body. I mean, the little dance that she been doing. I mean, just doing all, and they just sitting there just watching this little girl just humping and dancing and shaking and all kind of stuff there. I'm just looking at her. I guess they thought they were getting their little demon out the child. So, after they done went through all that, I guess they got the little demon out the child. Then the father comes and want to talk to her. And he coming in and looking all like he's such a concern. I'm like, really? I just look at him like he's so innocent. I guess in Africa they do this polygamy thing. That's why you ain't got to worry about me going to Africa for nothing, because I am not. I ain't doing that polygamy thing. But he tried to talk to the child, and he went to put his hand on her, I guess, to take the demon out of her head or whatever he was trying to do. She pulled him back, and he looking at her all concerned. He touch her head, and he would tell her mother, if you want, you can be out. She said to her mother, she can get out of the marriage. He's not going to hold her in the marriage because that little girl got the. He said the girl is the devil. He said the devil in that child. I won't say the devil, but something was definitely in that child. And I'm sitting here watching this girl, just trying to figure out what is wrong with this girl. Why she went from an innocent little girl that's upset because her mom is upset into doing the most. I'm just sitting there trying to figure it out. So, as I continue to watch the show, she goes and put on a little outfit, and they already told her she couldn't dance with her no more. So what she does is go hide around and shove the fourth girl in the river. I thought the girl looked like she couldn't swim, because she was going down, because she looked like she couldn't swim. And she finally caught this red, I guess, little orange buoy thing. And when she saw that the girl would catch the buoy thing, then she kind of calmed down. And then she went over there and took the girl's spot there and convinced them into letting her dance. Now, while they all out there dancing there, I mean, one lady had putting her hand over her little 11-year-old girl eye, and the girl like taking up mama's eye, talking about she want to see. Everybody sitting there looking at their head. At least the black parents, even the white people, just sitting there looking like they're staring. Now I've seen them sitting and watch little girls shake their booty and all of that, but especially in America, I've seen that they like that thing. But They're sitting there looking at this girl. They're looking at these little girls like they're out here dancing like these grown women. Basically out here dancing like Cardi B and they basically dancing like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. That's basically what they dancing like. I mean, all out there. And they're sitting there watching, shaking their head, like, really? So after a while, the girl, she just danced a while, and all of a sudden she started being drowned out in her head, and she zoned out, and she took off running back home, and with the little skimpy clothes on. Then the auntie now the auntie, she trying to beat the little child to death, and the mama like, leave my child alone, leave my daughter alone. While the auntie going crazy on the girl. Like the mama went crazy on the girl before. The mama just realized what was wrong with the child. So she tell auntie, leave her daughter alone. So she took the girl in the room and she looked at her. She said, if you don't want to come to the wedding, you don't have to. She said, you don't have to come. And then the mother, she got on her nice little whatever thing and went back to her husband's second wife wedding and dancing and partying around like everybody else. You can tell you wasn't happy. Partying around like everybody else. So I'm like, okay, so I went to see what she's doing. She goes in the room. I thought she was going to put that dress on and go to the party, but she didn't. She went and put her regular clothes on that she was wearing before she got with those little girls. But basically, her getting with this little girl showing that this little girl here corrupted a bunch of little fresh behind girls that need to go sit down and stay out of trouble, pranking and just doing the most in school to get in trouble. But she took them to a whole nother level, which is basically what she did in the movie. So that's what she was praying, that she just come in there and made these innocent little fresh behind girls teach them something, a whole nother level of you don't need to be doing as 11-year-olds. But anyway, she comes out in her regular clothes and she looks at the wedding and her mama partying that beautiful little yellow dress she had on. And her mama looked at her and saw she wasn't dressed to come. And then she turns around and walks out. And I guess she passes the aunt. It's like they showing her like they didn't even see her. So she went on out. There was a bunch of kids in the yard playing. And they got they got some bigger girls. They're dressing in a nice dress, but they're just out there playing the jumping rope. And so she went in and she started, and she went in and she started jumping rope with them. And at that moment, she turned back into the little girl that she was before she went up under that bed and heard her mother crying because her husband took a second wife. And I would be upset too. It's your little modest, dingy little room with a bed and a blanket on it, ain't nothing special. And you go in this other room over here, and you got furniture, curtains, bed in it, everything. Look like the Buckingham Palace room for his second wife. I wouldn't have a problem with that one. But then again, I wouldn't be in that situation. Because, at least not in this lifetime. But anyway, the movie went off of her jumping up and down with a big old smile on her face. The girl went back to the little happy little girl she was before she went up under that bed, and heard her mama crying. But anyway, in watching the movie, what I take from the movie was a bit, because I see so much of this stuff. It wasn't shocking for me to see the little girls dance like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, because they target these little kids. They target these little 11-year-old girls. Yeah, and Nicki Minaj. They target these kids with their music. So in 2020, it's not so much. I didn't find it so shocking. Now the day was butt naked or had on some thongs like Meg Thee Stallion, and I was like, okay, that's a bit much. Which is what they had on was what you see little girls on these little teeny weeny little shorts. The girls were dressed more like the little girl that they claimed the parents murdered her years and years ago. They were basically dressed like that little girl with these little pageant with barely no clothes on, the little tight shorts, the little tight little halter thing, and that's about it. And they had their makeup on and all of that. So I can see people outraged over that, but the way people, outrage that I'm seeing people having over the movie, it's not something that you don't see every single day. It's not something you don't see every day. Because a lot of people don't know what their kids doing. My kids was little, my 4 kids, they could dance. Now, they wouldn't dance like these little girls, but they step dancing. They could do step dancing. My son, 28 now, he thought he was Usher. When I say he thought he was Usher, he danced identical to Usher, and nobody knew that. Until one day we went to a gathering. We had little gatherings, the kids to get the energy out, but they got all these adults there chaperoning, making sure they don't get out of control. And they let them party and dance to the music. But anyway, and all of them went to dance, and they're like, "Why didn't know your kids could dance?" I said, "I didn't know they could dance either." I said, "Where y'all learn dancing at school?" They get among each other at recess, and they learn to dance. And so a lot of people don't know what their kids are doing. So, like I said, they go put clothes on, and then when they get where they going, or they skip school, and they be doing the most. But I'm looking at the movie to see what was the purpose of it. Still yet, I don't understand the psyche of that little girl. Why she went crazy and did all of that, teaching these girls, being obsessing her mind, shoving a child in the, almost drown a little girl so she could dance. And they wouldn't have no choice but let her dance because the other girl wasn't there. So, and then she went back to a normal little girl. I'm still trying to figure out that one, because it makes no sense to me, and that's probably why a lot of people is upset about it. That's probably why they're upset about it, because they don't understand it. But it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm not gonna cancel my Netflix because of it. I kind of like a lot of people. I really don't see the purpose of it, because basically, this movie is basically what people see little girls do every day. It's what kids are doing every day, and to put it in a movie, it's just reminding you of what kids do every day. And you basically just need to just pay attention to what your kids are doing. Be on their social media. Like my daughter, with her 2 girls, they stay doing something. All of the information goes to her cloud, so she know what they doing at all times. Someplace you ain't got no business going, it comes to her and she knows. Something like that, yeah, I can see. But it's kind of, I really didn't see, it didn't wow me or anything. It's just an everyday movie, just reminding people of what their kids are doing as if they don't know. And basically exposing craziness of African American that I think is a stereotype. Exposing Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and Meg Thee Stallion dancing is where the little girl got it from. Which, and I agree, they are corrupting these little girls' mind, especially with this WAP. This WAP is crazy. You can have all the little 11-year-olds saying WAP, and you're going to wonder where you get it from. But Cardi B seems to think she can share her WAP and get people to vote, and get all her WAP people to vote too. Which I think the majority of black people already done registered to vote, so I don't think they don't need to be reminded to vote, because Obama got everybody to vote. I know, because my 4 kids never voted in their life. But when Obama came for president, all of them run up there and vote. And they hadn't voted since. So I think Obama got just about every black person on the planet to vote, except maybe the 20s and on, which are the Generation Z. I guess those are the ones she's targeting, trying to get the vote. But anyway, I ain't gonna say it's been a good movie because I didn't really like the movie, because the movie didn't make a whole lot of sense to me as to the psyche of the little girl. What, all of a sudden she acting like a little demon possessed person, and why? Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will be back with more interesting videos. And thank you, Donna, for being here. I don't know who the second person was that was on, but I really appreciate y'all watching my video, and I will see you next time. Bye. I can figure out how to end it. My last one, it took me about a whole 10 minutes after the video ended to figure out how to cut it off. Maybe I touched that. Okay.